So how all are going to, okay, how all are going to combine together? Those things we will understand through one small photo. That photo 5-10 minutes it take for me. I will keep explaining you and I'll keep designing together. And at last we'll understand, oh, this is our destination. This is our final milestone. Okay. So let me go here. Now, yesterday we had a small discussion. We discussed, okay, when you are going to learn the syllabus, after learning the syllabus, you are going to be a software developer, web application software developer. You will be developing a web-based application software. Your application will run through the browser. It need browser to run it, and many more things we have discussed. Now we are going to just implement and see through the photo on a real life. Okay, it's not like simply I will be designing. I will keep comparing from the day-to-day life experience also. Okay. So for example, maybe myself, maybe you, or maybe anyone, whoever want to open a website, what he will do? Whoever want to open the Flipkart, whoever want to open the Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any web application website if you want to open, as a user, assume you are a user here. It can be anyone. As a user will open his system. This is suppose a user. This user is going to open a browser. This user wanted to open a website. So when he want to open a website, what he will do? It's visible, or shall I increase the font size? Let me make it 16. Will be little okay. Okay, so it's gone some more. Okay, user. Okay, so hope look like visible. A user want to open a website. So for that, he will open the laptop, he will open the desktop, or maybe he will open the mobile. And after that, directly he will open the browser. We are talking about the web application. He will open the browser. Suppose when you go to the browser, it can be Chrome, it can be Mozilla, it can be it can be Internet Explorer, it can be Safari, Opera, multiple are there in the market. Okay. So as a user, maybe myself, I want to open a website. I will open my laptop, and after opening my laptop, I will open a browser directly. After opening the browser, I am going to open a website. I am going to open a web application. That web application is developed using the front-end and back-end concept. That application is developed based on the concept of front-end and back-end. So for that, what I did, I made a website. That website name, suppose UI Master. It's InfoCampus website only, uimaster.in. And there is another website, suppose I wrote college globalleads.in. Two websites. Okay. Whereas the first website what we have, in this we have implemented the front-end technology. We have used the UI technology. Okay, let me write here front-end technologies. Okay, is running in one application. That is one separate domain. And another domain is there. Their back-end technologies are running. Back-end technologies. Back-end technology. Because our syllabus is like that only. It will be the concept of front-end and back-end. In between API will come. So how that all connectivity will happen, we are going to understand. So as a user, when you open a browser and after opening the browser, you will type the URL uimaster.in. What will happen from your browser through internet, multi-layer of internet? One request will go to the server. Request will go to the server, and from the server, some kind of response will come. That response will be visible in your system. So I have made double arrow mark. One is for the input purpose and another one is called output purpose. So this assume like I will write college a input happen by the user, and this become as a output. OUT output. Okay, double arrow mark. It's called as a two-way binding. Next, after that, This browser is going to deal with the application, and this application is based on the front-end technology. In front-end technology, you have seen HTML was there, CSS was there, Bootstrap was there, JavaScript was there, many was there, Angular, React was there. Right? How all are going to interlink together? Okay, so let's keep in mind, when you are going to open your browser is going to understand a technology. Okay, your browser is going to understand a technology. Okay, that technology is called this one. This one, call it a HTML. The first step where your browser interact, that will be as a HTML only, because in the Flipkart, when you go, you see the product, you log in, you register, you do add to cart. Functionality happen through other technology. I'm agree on that. But the content what appear in the browser, if you remove HTML, nothing will come in the browser. So HTML design in such a way that will deal with the browser. Okay. Now, how HTML is going to interact with other technology, that is the next matter to discuss. Okay. So keep in mind, HTML will be on the front. That HTML is going to collect the input from user, and HTML is going to display the output to user. Okay. It can be a static application or it can be dynamic application. Anything where HTML will be on the front, HTML will be dealing with the browser. Now HTML says, I have little limitation on design point of view. If you are creating a page only through HTML will say, yes, I am ready to deal with the browser. I am able to collect the input from user. I am able to display the output to the user via browser. But I have a little limitation on look and feel. Design point of view. If you want me to run similar way in the mobile phone, similar way in the laptop, similar way in the desktop, there will be little difficulties. Who says? HTML. Then behind HTML, there is another technology. Okay, what is that? Let's write here. That's called CSS. As a CSS. Now CSS is like HTML, you don't worry. You have a feature to deal with the browser. You deal with the browser. You just take the input from user and you give them the output. No issue at all. Design point of view, look and feel point of view, I will support you. Who will say? CSS. So CSS is going to help you to change the look and feel. But CSS is not going to deal with the browser directly, keep in mind. In few days, you will understand automatically. Okay. CSS is going to merge with the HTML, and after that, HTML and CSS both will deal with the browser, so that HTML will design a structure and CSS will apply the look and feel on that. Okay. That's how HTML and CSS work. A person who want to learn the CSS, he cannot go to the CSS directly. He must know the basic of HTML, then only he can touch the CSS. Else without HTML, CSS is helpless, and without CSS, HTML is also not very much smart. It's just basic only. In market, we have a library. That library is called as a Bootstrap. It came in the 2011, given by Twitter. Okay. That came in the 2011, given by Twitter. That is called Bootstrap. Okay. So for Bootstrap, I have made an arrow mark. That arrow mark represent Bootstrap has come from where? From the CSS. So Bootstrap is a library of CSS. So person wanted to understand the Bootstrap, he must have to understand the CSS. And person want to understand the CSS, he must have to know the HTML. Right? And then HTML, CSS will combine together and design a responsive page. And after that, deal with the browser and leave the user open in any browser, either laptop, desktop, mobile phone, no problem. Your CSS and HTML both will understand the device width, what type of device it is, a small, large, and medium. And according to device, the content will get rearranged, and that is called a responsive design. Okay, where CSS will be playing the major important role. So our first month syllabus is this three only: HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. Using that, I will be guiding you multiple type of pages, multiple type of design, multiple type of scenario, where you will be comfortable to design a different type of layout. If anyone will give the photo, homepage screenshot, you will not feel much difficulties. You will be ready to deliver some output. Okay. That is the first month. In that, multiple versions are there. Some other like icon library will come and many more. Now after that, so this is your static pages already. Still your page is not dynamic. It will be a static page. For every user, it will display the same output. Yes, page is ready to work in all type of devices, but is a static data. It will not change according to user need. Okay. Next, we have to integrate with the some programming language, some scripting language, so that our HTML should become a DHTML. HTML should become a dynamic HTML. Okay. So for that, you are going to use another set of technology, one technology that is called as a JavaScript. Let me write here. This is going to be as a JavaScript. JavaScript. Okay. Now, how the JavaScript is going to work? How the people use in the market? That the JavaScript deal with the browser directly. Yes, JavaScript is dealing with the browser directly only, but not directly, indirectly. How it will come? It will come via this. You can see here. I will go here and I will take the input from the HTML side, and after that, I will give the output to whom? HTML side. You can see this double arrow mark represent JavaScript is going to take the input from the HTML. HTML is going to take the input from where? From the browser, and input will be given by whom? User. So it's look like this. This become your input area, and input happen here, and after that output happen here. Output happen here. So who did the process? Definitely JavaScript. JavaScript is going to take the input from the user via HTML. HTML, how it will take the input? From the user via browser. So this become one proper way. Now JavaScript, what it will do? JavaScript will say, yes, HTML, I am ready to process the data, but I am not very much suitable to take from the user. You collect from the user. Who will say? HTML. And give me the data. I will do the processing, and after processing, I will give you the output. For example, user has given here 5, and user has pressed a star button, and again user has pressed the 5, and user click on equal to button. User click on equal to button. For example, see, is the equal to button. Now what will happen? 5 into 5 will go to where? JavaScript. JavaScript will collect the 5 into 5, and JavaScript will say, yes, there is the input of 5, and the, what is the instruction? As a 5, and again, what is the input? 5. Now, what will be the output? Output will become as a 25. Indirectly, input happen where? In the browser. Who given? User. But the where was the place where the user given the input? That is called HTML. HTML is not visible to us. What visible to us? Browser. Via browser, HTML collect the input. Okay, in input, in HTML, we have two type of tab. One is called input, where we collect the input. Another one is called output, where we display the output. But HTML is not responsible to process the data. Who is responsible? JavaScript. Okay, right. The syllabus, what we are going to learn in that syllabus, your HTML is not going to process the data. Your JavaScript is going to process the data. Okay, next after that. कुछ है क्या? अच्छा वो वाला. Okay, ठीक है, चलिए. Okay, next after that, JavaScript we have made it. JavaScript is okay. So what will be our steps? Now from you, if anyone asks, like you want to learn JavaScript, then what are the dependency for that? For JavaScript, minimum dependency is this one, called as HTML. Now to make HTML more meaningful and more interesting, you should have a knowledge on which one? CSS, right? So HTML will be more meaningful, more better, more look and feel with the help of CSS. That's what industry demand, the person should know the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, minimum. Now Bootstrap is an optional part for you. It is a library. It is also written in CSS only. So on which formula the Bootstrap work, we are going to CSS. Okay, using the CSS also we can do something like the Bootstrap only. But sometime what will happen? Some projects will be based on Bootstrap. Client will say, Sometime project will be based on Bootstrap. Client will say, don't take long time, deliver soon. So there we have to take some existing library. Instead of writing manually from our side 2 months and 3 months, take the existing library, integrate and just give them. Okay. So this becomes a what? It's a free of cost in the market, general public license. Many projects will come under the Bootstrap also. Many projects will be directly using HTML, CSS, JavaScript according to need. Okay. So in our suite, we have all three. So whichever you require, you can use it. You can go ahead. Okay. Now let's go ahead next. So to learn the JavaScript, we have to go step by step. I will be teaching you first step is HTML, second step CSS, third step Bootstrap. Design is ready. Static design, you can do it well, no problem at all. With the many lot of assignment and all. Next step will be you have to make this HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap dynamic. Okay. User should give the input, processing should happen, output should come. Your project will become interactive project with the help of JavaScript. Next, after that, again, our syllabus says we have some more thing. What is that? We have one side, the first after JavaScript immediately we have called jQuery. After that, you have two options. React and another option you have called Angular. Okay. So this all come from where? Let me guide you. This all come from here. Okay. jQuery come from JavaScript. React also come from the JavaScript. Angular also come from where? JavaScript only. Okay. So, but before learning the Angular, we need to have one more idea that is called TS as a TypeScript. Angular 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 versions are written under the TypeScript. So TypeScript knowledge is required. We study here TypeScript as well before Angular. Okay, so this become our jQuery, this become our React, and this become our college Angular. Right now, a person who are in very urgent want to do anything within a month, that is not possible at all. Right? So what will happen? We have to go step by step. Now you can see Angular says before Angular you have to learn the TypeScript. TypeScript says before me you have to learn the JavaScript. JavaScript says before that you have to get idea on HTML, CSS, right? React also says before that you have to learn the JavaScript. jQuery also says before me you have to learn the JavaScript. Right? So these all are our step by step subject what we are going to study. So step number 1 HTML, step number 2 CSS, step number 3 Bootstrap, step number 4 is a JavaScript, step number 5 is the jQuery, and step number 6 is your wish, either Angular or okay. Next, market is not going to stop here only. Market expectation is little more. Okay, market want Angular cannot develop a dynamic application. React cannot develop dynamic application. jQuery cannot do only dynamic application. It should have an interaction with the backend. If user is doing the registration today, he should be able to log in tomorrow. If even the user is posting some data today, it should go somewhere, right? So in that case now, using the first block, you can design a very good layout. You can make the layout as a interactive also. Your page will be bit level dynamic, but it will not be full dynamic. Okay, somewhere storage is not here, processing is there. See, you have JavaScript processing only, Angular for processing, React for processing, jQuery for processing. You are taking the input from the HTML, and for processing purpose now you have the 4 options, either JavaScript, jQuery, React, anything you can use here. Okay, now input happen, output also happen, processing happen, but what about the future? Okay, today you register in the Gmail, after 1 year also you can log in. Today you register in the Facebook, after 10 years also you can log in, right? How those are going to maintain? That is based on the concept of front end and back end. Okay. So now next level will come, that is called API. Okay, next level will come, that is called API. Let me go here and guide you. Okay, this is called as a API part now. This API says front end is separate and back end is separate. Now between front end and back end, communication should happen. So how the communication will happen? Directly you cannot do the communication. For that purpose, we require some certain technology, right? And the some certain technology, again, it will not come directly. It has to go right? So now see here, this become your entry point of the API, and this become another exit point of the API. Yeah, I will guide. API meaning is what. Okay. Now let me write here, this particular section become as a API call. API. Okay. API full form is very meaningless. After implementing, only will come to know what is API, but it's called as application programming interface. Application programming interface is not make direct any sense. Okay. After implementing, only will come to know really it's application programming interface. Okay. Now see, you have collected the application, you created the application, everything is well. Angular when we learn, React when we learn, jQuery when we learn. I will be guiding you like almost lot of example based on which one? This one, call it a API. Your JavaScript also can communicate with the API. Your React can communicate with the API. That is our part of syllabus we are going to learn. Your jQuery can communicate with the API. Can you see the fat line? The fat line is called a API call. Using JavaScript, we call it Ajax. We call it a fetch API function. Using jQuery, we call it a jQuery Ajax. Using React, we call it a API only. We have 2-3 options. XCOs, we have fetch option. Fetch API we have. Using the Angular, we have option called HTTP client module. Those are called name of what? Functionality. Okay. But combined of all, if you ask, what all called? When React want to communicate with the backend, when Angular is communicating with the backend, when jQuery is communicating with the backend, when the JavaScript is communicating with the backend, combine what this all call about. So it's all our call is what? API call. In that API call, we have again two options. You want to make it a secure, then it's called a RESTful API. If you want to make it a unsecure, then SOAP API. Okay. Now let's come to the next part. Assume you created a page using HTML. You change the look and feel through the CSS. You integrated the JavaScript, Angular, React, or maybe jQuery, anything. You make some level functional. Now, after that, when the user will click on submit button, data has to store somewhere, right? So, few part of the functionality is done by JavaScript, jQuery, Angular and React. Is okay. Now, for the future purpose, what to do? Collect the input from the user and send to where? Backend. Now, when you are sending the data to backend, what is that call about? That's called as a API. Now, in API, what will happen? API says like, no problem, you can send the data also. And API says, no problem, you can receive the data also. From where to where? From the front end to backend and backend to front end. For example, when you register in anywhere, that's called as posting the data. When you log in in the application, that's called as getting the data. When you go to the edit profile, it will display your old details 5 years before you have given your mobile number. You will feel like, oh, this is my old mobile number, right? Where it was available under the backend, right? So what happened? The day you register, that day you have given your data to the front-end technology. Front-end technology with the help of API is sent to the backend, right? Now, after 5 years, you came and you did forget password. Somehow you log in. After login, you went to the profile. You say, oh, yeah, it's my old mobile number. Correct? That meaning is what? Your data was stored somewhere. Where it was? In the backend. So the person who work on this, the first block, okay, the person who work on the first block, they are called a front-end developer. They are called a UI developer. They are called a what? Web designer. Okay. 5 years, 6 years before, company was giving the designation for web designer also. But now company will give the role as a UI developer. User interface. Our company will give as a front-end developer. The people who work on the front-end technology, they are called a front-end developer. Okay. Front-end, UI, web designing, all are same work. Technologies are also same. Okay. Now, so you made the application as a front-end developer, you did everything, you made API call. Now, how and what is the structure of the API? How that look like? How the database will be there? How the backend technology will be there? We'll spend 2 minutes of time and I will guide you quickly. So in the backend, this I have written called backend technology. In the backend, there will be two sections. One section where you are going to store the data. One section where we are going to store the data. That is called a database. That is called a database. Okay, one section where we store the data, that is called a database. call it a database. Database can be MySQL, it can be MongoDB, it can be anything. Okay, there are many are in the market. So this is going to be called a database. This becomes a database. Okay, database. Now under the database, data has to come. Right. Angular cannot deal with the database. There is no such feature. React cannot deal with the database. There is no such feature. HTML, CSS, JavaScript cannot deal with the database. There is no such feature in the market. Okay. Now you will ask why. So once we have a study, then we'll come to know why. But there is no such feature. Database cannot deal with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript directly, and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, React cannot deal with the database directly. Okay, but indirectly data has to come from database only. Data has to go to where? Database only. So in between, there will be another technology that is called server-side processing language. Server-side processing language. Server-side processing language. Server-side processing language. Let me make it a red color. Server-side processing language. Then you will ask, tell me a few names. No problem, I'll guide you. You have heard in the market, people call it a Java. People call it a Java. People call it a Python. Right? People call it a Node.js, Node. People call it a PHP. Right? People call it a .NET. This is called a. These all are called what? Not only this much, many more are there in the market. Okay, so these all are called a server-side processing language. So this language will be processing the data on the server side. Okay, this language will be processing the data on the server side, whereas JavaScript will be processing the data in the client side. Okay, client server concept also I will guide you separate in another photo. Okay, now let's look at here. Using the backend technology, whichever you follow, you should not feel like the people who work on Java, they are called a full stack. The people who work on the PHP, they don't call it a full stack. The people who work on Node.js, they don't call it a full stack. Everyone, whoever is able to handle the front end and whoever is able to handle the back end, one database and one backend language. Only one is enough here. One is enough. In one, there is so much feature, entire life will go there only. We will not understand all. Okay. So if we understand one from the backend as a backend language and one called a database, and from the front end either Angular, React, or jQuery or JavaScript, and if you are able to communicate end to end, you can say you are a full stack developer. Okay. Let me complete this part. Now let me go here, and at this place I will use the black color, and I will be writing here college a web service. Web service. Okay. Usually when we write a API in the backend, the term called a web service. Okay, web service. This web service we can write using the any language, whichever the language I mentioned here. Not only this much, many more are there. Okay. So this web service, how that look? This web service will be something like this. See here. This web service is going to be something like this. Now this web service, what will happen? In the web service, data will come from here. Okay, data will come from where? Through the front end via API. Now once the data will come here, this web service will be responsible to take your input and do the process, and after that send to where? Database. And again, according to need, whenever you log in and request for your details, the web service will be taking the data from where? Database. Right? This is the process here. Okay. So indirectly, here can be SQL also. Web service here can be SQL also, and can be no SQL also. That based on design of the backend, how it is designed. Okay, how you have written the, are you using the NoSQL or you are using the SQL, what you are using, that based on that. Okay, so I will write here. I should, okay. Let me erase this line. It's become a little mixed up of all. So let it be here simple as a web service. You can see the flow, what is happening. A user, maybe you, me, I will go to the Flipkart and I will click on, after opening the Flipkart, content will come in front of us. That got generated by, that is being displayed by HTML and CSS, look and feel will come. When you click on add to cart, immediately one message will come on the top, item added in your cart. On the top, 0 will convert into 1. Immediately your request will send to where? Backend. And your request will be stored in the database also. Today you added to the cart. Come after 3 days, you will see it is there in the cart only. Right? So what is that? That is called concept of front end and back end. User interaction happen to the front end, and based on that request, processing happen and data gone to where? Back end. Right? Where what is going to play the main important role? Web service. Web service backend language will be responsible to bring the data from the front end and send the data to front end. Right? Processing will happen and storage will be here under the database. Okay. So in Info Campus, the people who learn UI, for them, if the person is going to select end to end, like full stack, then first block is compulsory. I will be teaching you. API, I will teach you how to use the API. My 60% syllabus is based on API only. After that, in case if you are going for the Node.js, MongoDB, Express.js, the backend language, then I'll teach you this section also. Which section? The backend, second block. Okay. In case if you are going only for the UI, you are not opting for the backend, then again, how you will come to know how to create the API? Then instead of going to the backend languages, I will teach you how to create the API, but it will be kind of a mock API. Okay. How that will come? I will be teaching you another thing that let me write here, call it a JSON server. I have written today in my syllabus, call this one as a JSON hyphen server. Using JSON server also, we can create a mock API. We can create here called mock API. It will be like as a API only. Everything will be like as a API only, but little security will not be there. If you are using the backend language, you will have multiple type of security. But if you are using the mock API, it's just kind of an example. Okay, how to implement. You will be able to create your own API. You will be able to create, you will be able to develop the entire project end to end. Everything we can develop. Okay, just based on which one? Mock API. Okay, so this is for only UI people. For UI people. UI, those people who are going to learn only for UI candidate. UI candidate. Now companies are taking only for front end. Companies are taking for both combination. The people who have the both the skills, they can also go. The people have one skill, they can also go. But there will be again in the future, after 1 year, 2 year, you have to come back, you have to learn again. Because only the front end cannot help you for the full life. Okay. After 2 years, after 1.5 years, salary will grow, dependency will increase, you will demand for more. The company will also, yes, company, that time the company will say, yes, we are ready to pay, but let's deliver little more output. Then they will give, okay, now you should learn the backend language and develop end to end. Okay, that's called a full stack developer. Okay. So now, hope you got idea. And this is my final syllabus. The people who learn only UI, I will be teaching them first block very smoothly, step by step. Okay, in the professional way. At the place of API, instead of going to the backend, I will be moved towards the JSON server, and I will guide you how to create the API and how to use with Angular, React, JavaScript, jQuery, anywhere. And in case if you are going for the backend, JSON server, I will be teaching you, and along with that, I will be teaching which one? The backend as well. Okay, how to create the API, how to write the web service, database, and all those are the complete. Right. So if you want to take the photo, your wish, you can take a photo also. This is our final syllabus. Okay, in that, there is no way to start from the Angular, React, and jQuery and JavaScript. Steps will be the person should know HTML, they should know the CSS, should know the bit of Bootstrap, not bit of Bootstrap, very good in the Bootstrap. Then we will come to the JavaScript, then jQuery, then Angular or React, after that API, and finally live project. Okay. Okay. So hope clear. If you are having any question, you can ask me, I will guide you. This is based on my experience. If your experience is something else, please input something. Anyone?
Sir, there are other frameworks also like Vue.js and all, so that will not be included.
Vue.js, I don't have experience, so I don't teach the Vue.js. I have experience now. Also, I work for some company for the Angular, React, Node, Express, database, MongoDB, MySQL. Those are my expertise. So I will be teaching those things only.
Okay, sir.
Okay. One framework itself is difficult. One framework, if you go inside, you will find like, oh, there is a huge area. Okay. So one framework or one library you can pick up, be very good in that, go back to the industry, implement that, deliver one or two project, the technology will be specialized for you. Again, after that, definitely company will demand for next skill, right? So according to need, if you learn one Angular, then React you can learn from your side also, not difficult. Concept are similar, terminologies are similar, syntax are different. All are in JavaScript only, so you will not face much difficulties. If you watch 2-3 hours video of anyone, you will capture it. Okay. If you learn JavaScript, jQuery, you will not feel much difficult. JavaScript is the whole and soul. So we are going to spend complete 1 month time on that, right? So basic structure.
Which language is backend, sir? Which language is now using in company?
Company use all the languages. According to project, they use all the languages are in use. But again, matter is what is your requirement and what is my skill. Okay. So companies like industry have the demand for everything. It's not like industry need only Python and Java only. Industry need all the technologies. But in that again, we have to check like what is your requirement and what is my skills, what is my expertise. Okay, I teach only those technologies, those I have worked in the market. Now I'm working on this thing. So those things I teach in the smoothly. No any kind of question. Okay, I will guide you tomorrow. You ask any problem, I will give the solution immediately because
Language you will teach, sir?
I will be teaching the backend Node,
Backend.
Node Express, and then MongoDB or MySQL in the backend, in the front end, everything. You can choose Angular or React, anyone will be your turn. Okay, so hope clear. We should move ahead. Okay, so out of this all list of the technologies, our first step will be HTML, where I start usually for everyone. Let me save this file somewhere. Save in your folder only.
Will give notes, sir.
Written notes are not there. Notes.
PDF.
No. The developer guide we have made for that purpose only. No, I have made a developer guide. In that developer guide, daily will write the note. I will also write the note. You will also write the note. Okay. What we are going to implement related to that. DFT. Okay, so hope clear. Let me go ahead next. Okay, so next after that, we will have some understanding on HTML part. We will have some understanding on HTML part. Okay, so when a person is going to start with HTML, whether 0 year experience or 10 year experience, a working professional on HTML or new person who is going to start the HTML. Okay, overall, after looking into my entire industry experience, from the people who come from very beginning level, what he need to understand in HTML, and a person who is working last many years, what he deliver in the project from the HTML. To understand that few terms are important. Okay, few terms, few topics are important for both the level of people, whether it's experience or it's a fresher. Okay, that's the whole and soul of the HTML, you can say. Okay, those things we will be making a few lines of notes. Okay, plus I will compare you from internet also. You can open any website and the terms, theory, the few lines of notes we are going to write, you can compare with that theory anywhere, right? It should match. Okay, so let me come. I have made a file to the developer guide. You can make a note in the notebook also today, no problem. Okay, so let me go here under the developer guide page. In developer guide page, HTML, I will also write hypertext markup language, one line, but after that, something else I will add that you are going to implement, and that is going to complete guide you. Okay, what is HTML? A person who learned the HTML, what way he learn internally. Who wrote, when wrote, even I have not seen on internet. Okay, where to use and how to use, what is inside, how to learn that, what are their term condition, what is the rule regulation. Okay, that we require to understand. Okay, on W3, on YouTube, or multiple other sources we have gone through, there you have a study. People say it's called as a hyper hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language, that is their full form. Okay, that is the full form of HTML. Hypertext markup UP. Markup language. Okay, so what is inside the HTML? So you can write the next line. It has collections of predefined tags. Hope you will write somewhere in the notebook or anything. It has a collections of predefined tags. Predefined represent not made by you, made by someone else. Collections word represent a lot. Collection word represent many, and the predefined words represent made by someone else. Tag is the main word, we are going to discuss on that. Okay, it says it has a collections of predefined tags. Like in HTML, there is a lot of predefined tags. And actual, what is the use of the tag? You can write here. The HTML tags used to communicate. The HTML tags used to communicate with browser. Today photo I have designed. In the photo also I have designed. Browser is the first, HTML is the second. User is the first. One side will be the user. Second side will be the, you can say, your HTML, and in between will be the browser. User will come to the browser and HTML will also come to the browser, where data exchange will happen, input output will happen. Okay, so that line I represented in a single sentence. It says like the HTML tags used to communicate with the browser for what purpose? So number one, to collect input from user, and number two, to display output to user. This is the actual work of HTML. What is that? HTML has a lot of tags, and the tags are going to communicate with the browser for what purpose? To collect the input from user and to display the output also to user. So overall, HTML is going to do two things. One is called input and another one is called output. HTML is not responsible for processing the data. HTML has two hands. One hand, it takes the input from user, and another hand, it gives the input to whom? JavaScript. And it will take the output from JavaScript and give back to whom? HTML. It's like the in between. Where it execute in the browser. That I have written here. It has a collections of tag And that tag used to communicate with the browser for number one, to collect input from user and to display the output to user. Processing will not happen by whom? HTML. Because of that, this photo says HTML, you collect the input from where? User via browser. And HTML will give to whom? JavaScript. JavaScript will do the process, return back to HTML, and HTML will give to the browser. By then, user is waiting for the output. Right? That line you wrote here. Okay, come down. Next, after that, definition of HTML is clear. This two line, if you say somewhere in interview, you want to say hypertext markup language, no problem, you say it. Okay, you can say HTML called as a hypertext markup language. What it has a collections of predefined tags, and that tag is going to help us to create application where we can collect the input from user and we can display the output to the user with the help of browser. Okay, in between, who will play the role? HTML tags will play the role.
They will ask a simple question.
That time will decide what question the people will ask. Okay, I have a bank of question. Okay, question bank I will give you. You can have a look. Nearly 400 question answer we have in HTML only. I will give you. You can have a look into that entire. Okay, at last when you go for interview, I'll give you 10 questions from HTML. Okay, most of the places people ask from there. Only 10 VVI question. Okay, let's come next point. So HTML, clear, yes, it is for the input and output. And what it has called tags. Okay, now let me go here and explain the next line. Okay, that is called a, this one, called a tag. Okay, what is the tag? What is the tag? In HTML, what is the tag? Okay, so just keep in mind something within the angle bracket. It's called as a open tag. And something within this angle bracket only with slash is called as a close tag. Inside what we will write under the angle bracket, it can be predefined also and it can be user defined also. Even we can create our own tag once we come under the React, that is called JSX. Okay, there we will have a capacity, we'll have a capability based on rule of the XML, we can create our own tag. And that tag we can integrate with the React, and then we can say it's a user defined tag. Okay, so here just I have written tag how look like. Within angle bracket is called a start, and within angle bracket with slash is called a end. Okay, let's come down below. So that's what I told you in the beginning. Few points are important for a person who is going to write the first line of HTML. In the first line of HTML, each character will ask a question. Now, do you have an answer for that? So before writing a line of HTML, we need to have an answer ready for that questions. Then if I start writing one line, automatically question will come in your mind and answer will also come from inside. You will say, oh, this is the one and that is the one. This is the one and that is the one. Okay, let's come next. Now let's go. Suppose you say, yes, HTML has the tags, and how the tag look like? Tag look like this. Then one more word was here called collections. Collection word will never represent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It represents 100, 200, 500, 5000, unlimited, right? So when we say HTML has a collections of tags, like suppose it has a collections of tags, is there a type also? Is there any category also? When you go to the Flipkart, there is a 10 lakh products. The 10 lakh product is not all are product only here, but it's a category wise. Footwear separate, food items separate, electronics separate, right? Other things are separate, clothing item, all are separate, all are product itself. When you come to the HTML, you have a lot of tags. Now this tag says like, I have a lot, but even there is a category also. There is a type also. What? Based on uses. How you have experience from internet, based on that we are going to split. I'm not writing anything from the book definition. I'm writing from my experience and from your day-to-day life uses. Okay. Now let's come. Using HTML, suppose HTML tag you have used, you created a page. Suppose someone has created the Gmail page, someone has created the Facebook page. Okay. When you go to the Gmail, first what it will ask? Register and then login. Go to the Flipkart, it will display a lot of photos, lot of products. Once you buy it, later it will say you register or login. Correct? Come to your Gmail. When you are writing an email, you do a input. When you compose an email for someone, what? You are doing as an input. Your email will go to someone else. For him, it will become an output. In the Flipkart, the vendor has uploaded the product, photo, product details, product price, product category. Those are called as what? Input. But when a customer will come, for him, it will become as an output. Go to the YouTube. The classes are getting recorded. I will be uploading the YouTube. So while uploading the YouTube, it will ask, select the category, playlist, write some description, write the title of the video. Okay. Many things it will ask. It will ask, upload the video, select the video. So for me, it's become as an input. I'm uploading that. For me, it's become as an input. Now our students will see that they will get the notification. Then they will click on the video link. They'll start playing. For them, it's become as an output. Right? Go to any website till date you have browsed. You have gone through the two steps. One where we see the output and another where we do the input. Input can be different. Yes, input can be number, mobile number separate, email separate, file upload, PDF upload, image upload, profile photo upload, upload Excel. These all are called as what? Input only. Upload the photo, that's called the input only. In Facebook, you upload your profile photo. That's for you as an input. Now I will go to your profile. I can see your photo. It's become an output for me. Right? So overall, what you have seen on internet till now, whatever the browse website you have browsed, you have gone through the two process only. One is called input and another one is called output. Input and output. So based on this experience, what you have implemented, what we have seen on internet, you are going to divide the HTML tags into two categories. One is input category, another one is called output category. Whenever we design a form, we will use the input tag, and whenever we'll display the user data somewhere, that will call it an output tag. When we will upload the photo, profile photo, that will be as an input tag. When we display the profile photo somewhere, it's called as an output tag. Right? So we'll write a question here. Type of tags in HTML. How many type of tag we have? Okay. So based on your experience in day-to-day life, you are going to write. One is called input tag and another one is called a output tag. In interview, if anyone asks how many type of tags are there in HTML, leave the internet definition, leave the book definition. Based on your experience, you can say yes, till date, whatever the website I have browsed, I have gone through the two processes. Wherever I register, it asks my details, and wherever I go to view profile, it display my profile, it display my details. When I go to the Flipkart, I can see the list of the product. When I purchase it, it will ask me for the login. Correct? So overall, when I go to the Gmail, I can write a compose email where I need to enter the subject, I need to enter to whom I need to send, I need to attach a file, all become the input for me. Where my email will get delivered, for him it will become an output. Someone will send the email to me, I can see that. I can send the email to him, he can see that. So wherever they is showing, that's called an output. Where it is collecting, that's called an input. So based on this entire your on internet definition, you are writing all the HTML tags are going to divide into how many types? Two types. One is called input and another one is called as a output. Okay. We'll write a single line definition for input tag. What is that? It used to collect input from user. Okay. Another one, it used to display output to user. It used to display output to user. So where we collect the input from user, it's become as a input tag. Where we display the output to the user, it's become as a output tag. Not only your day-to-day experience only. Once you learn the JavaScript, this photo was designed. JavaScript is going to take the input from HTML and JavaScript is going to give the output to whom? HTML. That day when you write the JavaScript lines, that day also will come to the same point. JavaScript is going to communicate with HTML now. So first check in HTML how many type of tag you have. If you remember that day, you will say we have 2 types. Then I will write the definition. JavaScript will communicate with the input tag based on this formula. JavaScript will communicate with the output tag based on this theory. And those things we will write and we'll implement it. People write the same thing. Okay. So hope this 2 point is clear. What is that? In HTML, what we are going to study about the tags. Okay. How many type of tags we have? 2 type, input and output. Okay. Now let's compare in your day-to-day life. When you say, yes, we have unlimited humans in the entire world. Now, when you start taking the interview of the 100 peoples, in that some people will be male and some people will be female. If you divide the human into 2 multiple category, you will find, okay, let's keep one side male, another side is a female. Similar way, you divided the HTML tags into 2 types, input and output. Now, after that, when you start taking the interview of 10 male person, you will understand the way of talking, the way of behavior, the way of sitting, the way of answering are different. All are not same. In fact, all are men only, right? When you talk to the 10 female, you will come to know the way of talking, the way of answering, the way of presentation is the different. In fact, all are female only. Now, we are going to talk on the next level. When we say yes, all are the HTML tags only, but we divide it into 2 groups, input and output. Now, you will write the behavior of the HTML tags. Behavior. When the HTML tag will come in the browser, how it will behave, right? When the HTML tags will come in the browser, how it will behave. When we write the code, how it will behave. That's called what? Behavior of HTML tags. Based on that behavior, you are going to write the CSS further and you are going to do many things. Someone has sent a message. Due to network issue, I am logging in lab only. Lab. Okay. Log in anywhere, no problem. Today is just theory part for you. You are going to make a note. Okay. So let's go ahead. So we are going to write. What is that? Behavior of HTML tags. Okay. So total 4 type of behavior we have. Okay. All, whether HTML4 or HTML5, right? Whichever the tags we have. Okay. You will remember the theory today. Once we start writing the first example, in the first example, entire 6 steps will be clear. You will feel like, oh, really, this all are true. Okay. The first example will clear this entire theory. Okay. Okay. So let me go ahead. Next, right here, the behavior of behavior in HTML spelling is little different. It's a keyword. Behavior of HTML tags. Okay, the behavior of HTML tags. Okay, the behavior of HTML tags. Now, how many type of behavior we have? We have to write, as we discussed, when we talk multiple male and female, we will find the different type of 100 people, 100 type of behavior, right? So in HTML tag, we have the lot of, so how that look, how their behavior, right? So we are going to write the point number 3rd. Okay, I'm just adding all the point together. So we'll have total 6 points. In that 1 and 2 you saw, now we are on the where? 3rd point. Okay. The 3rd point is going to explain you the term very, very important for UI developer. Okay. And they face always that problem. What is that? Browser dependency. You will create a page and you will upload on the server. After uploading on the server, you cannot guarantee the customer. You open only in the Chrome or you open only in the Mozilla. You guarantee it? No. Flipkart, can they guarantee? No. Anyone can open in any browser, right? So the point number 3rd is going to explain about that point. Okay, that's called browser dependent. Okay, platform dependent. Okay, what mistake we will do so that our page will become a browser dependent, and what mistake we should not do so that the page should not be becoming a browser dependent. Okay, so to make browser dependent, multiple points are there. Out of that, from HTML, one point. Okay, that point is called a dependent tag. That point is called a dependent tag. Dependent tag, DEPENDENT, dependent tag. Okay, I hope most of the people have watched something from the YouTube. You have seen something from the W3 schools. You may have gone through the Udemy or multiple places, multiple content you have seen from internet, or you may have some knowledge in HTML also. Okay, so let me write directly one example that may guide you directly in your mind, and then I'll write a theory. Dependent, DEPENDENT, dependent tag. What is that tag? Suppose you have seen on internet HTML used to open as well as HTML used to close. Okay, I'm writing separate. Body you have seen, body will get open and body also get call it a close. Okay, so not only HTML and body, till date, from here onwards, whichever the tag we are going to write, if the tag is open without slash and tag is ending with slash, this all come under this category. That is called dependent. What will happen if a dependent tag is not closed? By mistake you missed out. Suppose HTML you open and HTML you are not closing in the last. See, it should be something else like this. Okay, so I will not write in that way because I'm not writing the example of HTML. I'm explaining the type of tag. Let me write here. Suppose ABC open and ABC got closed. Okay, so ABC is not predefined. ABC is become a user defined. HTML is the predefined, body is predefined, whereas ABC is the user defined. So from now onwards, in example, upcoming example, whichever the tag we open separate and close separate, that will be called this one, called a dependent tag. Okay. Suppose, for example, you open the body and you have not closed the body. Your document structure will be unstructured document. The file you are going to create, if you open the HTML and if you will not close the HTML, your document, the file what you are creating, your file will become unstructured document. When the browser will read it, when the Angular will read it, when the React will read it, some technology will throw the error directly, saying like template parsing error. Some technology will say, okay, HTML is open, HTML is not closed, also I can display your output. But at last, if technology is detecting the error, then no problem, your page will not work, you have to fix, then only you can continue. If the technology is unable to detect the error, then your page will become a browser dependent. Few browser will support, few browser will not support. Few browser will say document structure is wrong, so I'm sorry, I cannot display properly. Few browser will say, okay, HTML is open, assume HTML is closed in the last. Okay, so in that case, this point is going to help you if you want to make your page as a complete browser independent. It should not be dependent. It should be able to work in all the browsers. Then we should remember which tag is the dependent and it must be open and closed. Okay, so I'll write now with single line of theory. For that, those tags that has open and close. Like that, you have many hundred tags. Those tags that is separate, open and close. Those tags that is separate, open and close. What is called? It's called as a dependent tag. Now another line also we have, point number 4. Point number 4 says independent tag. INDEPENDENT, independent tag. Dependent tag and independent. Now for independent tag, I will give you some example. Then we'll write a single line of theory. Then we'll write a single line of theory. Okay, what is that? suppose a tag open ABC and just like this, a tag open hello and just like this, a tag open BR and just like this, a tag open call IMG and just like this. You can see here HTML has open separate and close was separate. But in this case, what is happening? There is only open is there, close is not there. Right? So those tag that has no closing separately, that is called as what? Independent. But listen properly, then you can write. Okay. This, if you are writing like this, it will be limited. It will not work in all the technology. It will work in some technology and some technology it will not work. Where it will work, I'll guide you. Your HTML will work well, CSS, JavaScript will work well, Bootstrap will work well, jQuery will work well. But once you integrate with the Angular, Angular will say template parsing error. If you integrate with the React, React will say JSX, XML rule mismatch. Document structure is unstructured document and it will throw the error. But it is going to work where? Under the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, it will work. It will get fail in few technologies. Okay. So for that, we have another rule. What is that? We have another rule that is called self-closing tag. Self-closing tag. Okay, self-closing tag. So this technology, few technology, as I told you, which one? Angular and React. Angular and React say like, yes, as per the HTML, it is independent, no problem. I am following that. Let it be. But since we have some rule regulation, who will say? Angular React will say we have some rule regulation. Please follow that as well. So what need to follow? Let it be same. Just put the slash in the last. Put the slash in the last. Here, put the slash in the last. Slash in the last. So it is independent only, but rule got applied. Which rule? Self-closing. You open and you only get close. Okay, no need to close, separate, right? So this is also valid. This is also valid. Then you will ask which one is the globally valid. Then I will guide you. Second one is the globally valid. It is applicable for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, React, everywhere. But the first one is available only in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery. React, Angular will throw the error. Okay, so you can follow best which one? The second one. Yes, even in interview also many times multiple choice question will come. In that people will ask which one is the self-closing tag, which one is the valid self-closing tag. Valid self-closing tag. There two will be like this and two will be like this. Two will be which one? Without slash, and two will be, or maybe one will be with slash. So wherever is with slash, that is called which one? Self-closing tag. Right? Without slash, it's not called, it's called a independent. It's called a independent. But with slash, it's called a independent also, as well as self-closing also. Okay. So how many rule you got? One rule. Those tag where we collect the input from user is called as a input tag. Those tag where we display the output, that is called as a output tag. Now behavior, if the tag is open and closed, then it's called as a dependent. If the tag is only open, then it's called as a independent. But under independent, since the technology is enhanced in the market, so there is some other rule. If it is an independent tag, make as a self-closing. So it will be globally valid for all the technology and you can access everywhere without any error. Okay. Now, so this 2 point was for what purpose? This point number 4 was, point number 3 and point number 4 was for the purpose of your browser dependent and browser independent. If you are following the rule, your page will be browser independent. It will not say I will work only in the Mozilla, I will not work in Chrome. It will say yes, from HTML side, I can work in all the technologies. Okay. Now come down next. 2 more point we have, quickly we make a note. 620 already. Let's write here. Point number 5 we have, that is called as a block level tag. Block label tag. And the point number 6 we have, that is called as a inline tag. Inline tag. Block level tag and inline tag. These two are for responsive design. Responsive design. These two are for the responsive design. Okay. What is that responsive design? What is that responsive design? If you are creating your page should work in mobile also. Your page should work in the laptop also, and your page should work in the desktop also. That is called as a responsive design. These two, why we have written point number 4 and 5. Point number 4 and 5 we have written, according to technology, the page should not get failed, and according to browser, it should not become as a dependent. It should become as a independent, so that in all the technology as well as in all the browser, it should work. Point number 4 and 3rd and 4th. Point number 4 and 5 is going to teach you about this one. Call it what? Responsive design. Responsive design. Okay. Now responsive design, what it says? Responsive design says, if a person will open a website, let me show you directly, then you can come. I will open our website only, info.campus.co.in. Opening, hold on. Okay. The two terms we have. Term number 1 we have, that is called block level tag, and another one is for what? Inline tag. Block level tag and inline. This is for what? Responsive design. Now suppose I open this page in the laptop. 5 minutes. Okay, I open this page in the laptop. Then you can see in one line how many photos are coming. 6 are there. 2, 4, 6 are there in one line. Okay, let's discuss on one line only. It says like, okay, in one line, it is the laptop. So there is a huge space. So what to do? All come in the same line. Now suppose a person will open in the mobile phone. Then also if you display the 6th line, 6th block, what will happen? It will become compressed or not? Desktop, laptop width is maybe 1500 pixel width. Mobile phone width is 400, 500 pixel width. Now in the laptop, I'm displaying the 6th block. In mobile phone, if I display the 6th block, content will become compressed. So see, as of now, 4 blocks are coming in one line. It is called as inline. 6 blocks are coming in one line. So it's called as what? Inline. Inline. Yes, inline. The behavior of the tag as of now is inline. Now, as soon as the same person will open the same page in mobile phone, how that look? Go here. Come down. You can see how many are coming in one line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. In mobile phone, all gone to where? New line. When it is going to the new line, it's called a block. Block. When the content print in the new line, it's called a block. When the content print in the same line, it's called a which one? Inline. Now this page becomes suitable for mobile phone and laptop both. So that is called this one. That is called as what? Responsive design. If you have created a page, your page must work in the laptop, must work in the mobile. Else you will get only laptop customer. You will not get the mobile customer. 80% nowadays is mobile customer only. Right? So we should target both the customer, right? For that we have 2 rules. If your tag will print in the new line, it's called a block level tag. If the tag will print in the same line, it's called a inline tag. And according to need, with the help of CSS, we can convert into block to inline and inline. Both is possible. Okay. So till here we will stop today. In that, hope you understood few points of HTML. In that, input and output, behavior, dependent and independent, block and inline. I will guide you tomorrow. We will write a small notes, and again I will just revise it. and few questions I will ask from you also. So at least point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, point number 4, and point number 4 till. Okay. So how many type of tag? 2 type of tag, input and output. What is the behavior of tag? Dependent and independent. How we can say dependent? If the tag is open and closed, it's called as a dependent. If the tag is only open, it's called as a independent. What about the self-closing? Independent tag, if they have the slash in the last, it's called as a self-closing, right? So this 5 point only remember for today. That is more than enough. You have understood the photo. You have seen this content. Tomorrow, I will suggest you log in through the laptop. Okay. Tomorrow we need to implement and understand. Okay. So tomorrow, log in using mobile and laptop, no matter. But tomorrow, use the laptop. Use which one? System. If you are logging through the laptop, no problem. If you are not using the laptop, try using the laptop. Okay. And tomorrow, before login, you download and install a editor that is called Notepad++. Everyone, this is for how long? This is for the first month. This is for the first month. First month, HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. We are going to write the code using this editor called Notepad++. Very excellent tool for the learner. You will remember entire property and value in 1 month. Okay, if you are using this editor, which one? Notepad++. Not search in Google, no. Download Notepad++. Okay. Second month, we will use the VS Code editor, other editor. Okay. But the first one, this is the sufficient. You need to have any browser in your system, Mozilla, Chrome, IE, Safari, anything is fine. Just you install this Notepad++ tomorrow before login. I will explain you these 2 points, and after that, I will guide you folder creation, file creation, how to run the file, where to save the file, complete from 0 level. Okay. Okay then. Hope it was the meaningful for you, and then